Well,
we said it was going to be a short episode, so they're short chapters.
we thought that Listen, I toned it down. I toned it down as much as I could. But yes, hello. I'm your host, Charlie, and I'm on summary.
Nick. I'm just here for the ride.
You kind of bungled the intro, but I'm sure.
It's been like...
Oh, what is episode 10? We can just start.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Whatever. Okay, so Eragon wakes up after his encounter with the Urgles last chapter at camp with his arm in a splint. It's been broken. Brom and Saphira are nowhere to be seen. He eats a delicious breakfast of stew and mills about for a bit before deciding to scry to see where they are. He sees that they're flying but can't see their surroundings because it's scrying. He also tries to scry on Roran, who is also in an unfamiliar location and looks a bit worse for wear. He gets bored waiting and decides to scry on the woman from his dreams for a while to just like check if he can scry on something he imagined.
She really is the woman of his dreams.
For real. And is very, very surprised when it works, because she's a real person. She seems to be able to sense his presence and makes eye contact with him, which really scares him and kind of freaks him out enough that he bails on the scry. Saphira and Brom return, having spent the last few days hunting down the Urgles. There are 12 of them in total, but 3 of them have survived, and so they're a little bit worried about that. Brom berates Eragon about his poor decision making for most of the rest of the chapter, and they set out for Drusleona. The next day, this is chapter 31, Eragon tells Brom about scrying on the woman, and Brom is just stumped and has no idea what's going on, so they drop it. On the road to Drusleona, Eragon's training continues, and he learns to fight using his left hand since his right is still broken. And when they reach Leona Lake, Eragon and Saphira go for a lovely swim and play around in the water together for like 4 pages. It's 2. That night, Eragon finally beats Brom in a sword fight, and Brom promptly gives up forever, proclaiming that Eragon is now a master swordsman and there's nothing more he can teach him. He then walks through the basics of how a wizard's duel would work and tells him to bail as hard as he can if he ever encounters another caster. They go to bed and then keep walking to Drusleona the next day, which is chapter 32, The Maya of Drusleona. Eragon and Brom stay in an inn in a town called Fessaloft, close to Drusleona. They listen out for rumours about Eragon and Saphira, just in case the Urgles have been spreading something, but hear none to their relief. On the final day before they reach the city, Saphira and Eragon have a brief conversation about what they'll do once the Razak are dead. Saphira kind of urges him to consider joining the Varden while Eragon's on the fence about the whole thing and kind of just wants to live his own life. They arrive at Drusleona, which is so yucky disgusting. It makes Tarim look like Torah. Brom finally tells Eragon about Helgrund as it comes into view, explaining the city's cult worship of the mountain and pointing out the massive cathedral in the centre of the city. I'm sure that won't come up later. As they move through the heavily guarded gates, Eragon becomes more and more disturbed by the quality of life that he sees in the city for the poor and develops kind of a general sense of unease. And they stop for a night in an inn called the Golden Globe. Eragon muses about wealth inequality, Brom gets him drunk, and they go to bed. And that's everything that happens in those 3 chapters.
I didn't realise the inn was called the Golden Globe.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
Yeah, topical, huh?
Whoa. Don't date the episode. We're way back release.
Wait, when are the Global...
Like last week.
Yeah,
Oh, for real? I don't know anything about them.
Yeah, no, they were predictable. Everybody who was going to win won.
Oh, I don't see anything, so...
Yes, wow. All right.
I would never have predicted the show I've never heard of won a Golden Globe.
Golden Globe is for movies.
It's for movies? Oh, it means it's TV, right?
I think Golden Globe might do movies as well. I'm not 100% sure. I just like to look at the outfits. But we got a good screenshot of... I don't know, those 2 women hugging each other. I'm very far behind on everything.
I don't know if I saw that
I
one.
don't even know what you're talking about.
Michelle Yeoh and Jamie... What's her face?
Okay, yeah, I know the woman
Lee
you're
Curtis.
talking
Jamie Lee
about, but I
Curtis,
don't
yeah.
know what you're talking about.
Well, some kind of screenshot from the online. How did we feel about the chapters, boys?
Eragon is so stupid.
Yeah, he's
Eragon's so stupid. Endearing.
Yeah, we love him.
Eragon is so stupid in brackets positive. / pause.
Yeah.
/ piece of shit.
Tone indicators.
Brom / piece of shit.
Yeah, Brom is kind of / piece of shit.
Guess we'll start with Visions of Perfection. It's just Eragon wakes up from a coma is like, "Ooh, I'll do some magic," and Brom arrives back and says, "Why the fuck did you do anything?
He yells at
What's
him
wrong
for,
with you?
like,
I hate you."
2 pages.
Yeah.
The whole chapter is him flipping the fuck out on him, which, like, I get. He could have died, but
The final Brom
Well,
sucks
it's not.
moment.
It's not quite the whole
sure it's
chapter,
the
is
final.
it? Because, well, he fucks around for a bit. Brom gets in on him. He reams him. He skins him. He flays him alive, and then he stops. And Saphira says, "That was fucking stupid."
oh, I love his little. I don't want to
She
talk
waits.
about it.
She waits until he's been scalded half to death, and then says, "I also think it was dumb."
I'm also mad at you. Both of Eragon's friends are mad at him. This is really tough
What a
situation to be in.
situation.
Yeah, I do love that she waits, and I love his little, like, I don't want to talk about this, I'm so upset, and she's just like, fine, whatever.
It's like he's like beaten and like lying on the ground in the dirt, and she throws a rock at him.
Yeah, it's very tough for him this chapter. Roran looks like Garrow, which is
Oh no.
Very sad.
yeah, sad for him.
Okay, so the description of scrying on Roran is that Eragon doesn't know the location, hasn't seen the location he's in, so it's just Roran and the surrounding their objects. So he's just sitting on nothing in a
Yeah.
blank void. He's just sitting, like as if he was doing sitting on a chair or like doing a wall sit, but there's nothing.
I do love that image.
And that I loved that. I thought that was really funny.
I thought the scrying was cool.
Yeah,
this one's
scrying
really
was cool. I think this is another point for Eragon being so stupid because he woke up from a coma, ate some soup, and then almost instantly started being like, well, maybe I should cast some spells I've never cast before and I don't know how much energy they use.
yes, and he literally
Maybe I should do it 3 times. Maybe I should scry on something that that probably doesn't even exist, and that there's no way that could use all the energy in my body and kill
give
me.
myself a brain hemorrhage. I don't know. I'm feeling kind of croaky today. No, yeah, I love that. There's a little section where he's still tired, and he's thinking about how Brom told him, scrying takes energy, and maybe don't try it when Brom's not around. And he literally thinks, but I'm stronger than Brom, and does it anyway.
I'm reading through like where he could find food. It's like he found some stew. He couldn't even find any bread.
There's no. They took the horses.
So
Yeah.
upset. There's no. They didn't even take. They didn't even take the horses. The horses are just a wee ways away.
It's just like in another
He
clearing.
just couldn't find them. They're in the next clearing.
He's supposed to be like a maverick hunter. Follow the hoof prints, dude. Come on.
Well, maybe they carried him away from the horses and not the other way around.
Could be.
Yeah, Saphira just dropped him off somewhere. Left him for
Dumped him. She's
2 days.
so mad at him. I mean, for good reason.
Yeah,
he
because-
kind of fucked everything up.
And also,
really
if he
bad.
dies, then she dies.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's such a raw deal. I know we've
So
been over it 100
terrible.
times, but it's so rough for her. Yeah, I'm not to harp on about being a Brom hater, but I'm just kind of sick of his like hyper masculine, like, I don't know, just come back and be really mad about everything, gruff dude shtick. I have a paragraph about it.
He's old man McFeeble.
Yeah, it's just like,
I know it was fake, but it was more fun than this.
I just feel like he's been feeling really one note for a while and is feeling more like characters are narrative tools, obviously, but he's feeling way more like a tool than a character and just like a collection of tropes, which is just getting to be like, he is a tool also.
Oh, you
Yeah.
think Brom's a tool?
I do. But it's just getting to be like really repetitive, which, I mean, I don't blame him, obviously. This is a book written by a baby, but it's like we're getting the same pattern of Eragon does something kind of stupid, he passes out for a little bit.
He like even gets the consequences, and then once he's recovering from it, Brom's there to like bash him in.
That's the thing, is like he's getting the consequences, so I don't feel like it's interesting or like stimulating as a reader to also get like a page and a half of just him getting yelled at.
Yeah.
Like, it's not, we as a audience get that the thing he did was really stupid. Brom comes back and goes, here's the reasons that like
that this was stupid.
that this was stupid, and then keeps going for another like page and a half. Just like, it's tiring at this point. Yeah. So
He just got a bad attitude.
yeah, he does. He just has a bad attitude. It's not very fun. there's so much more impact of Saphira's little, like, 2 or 3 lines of, like, hey, that was really dumb and I'm mad at you.
Yeah, if you had told me anything about what your plan was, that we wouldn't be in this situation, because I would have known that was stupid.
Exactly, and it's just, I feel like that's more impactful, especially coming from her, because she's more of a character.
Yeah.
And not just, like, the consequences guy.
Yeah.
I'm finding him to be very frustrating. But I guess there's, tick, 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 tick.
I think it was nice that Eragon was thinking of Roran. We get a reminder that, like, life still goes on outside of this little story. The little, I don't know, closed viewpoint of Eragon and Brom.
Did you have something? Because
I was just going to say, Roran is really going through a bit of a raw deal right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, things aren't so good for them at the moment.
Well, I'm going purely off what we know from this book. His dad died and his cousin/brother disappeared.
And his house got exploded.
And
And he has to go work in the mill.
Well, he's fine with that.
Well,
that was normal.
he
But now he doesn't even live in the village, like the village that he grew up in. His house is gone.
Yeah, he's
not even there to deal with.
And he's got no prospects for his future wife. Like, it's just very tough for him. Yeah, I don't think all the really bad stuff happens till book 2. Like, it's not a look.
Well, we don't find out about anything that happens to him until we get Aurora and POV, so we don't need to talk about him.
Yeah, not for ages.
Yeah, I did find.
But we don't need to talk. I don't really remember what happens in their village, so I don't really want to talk about it because I don't know.
I don't think it happens for a long time.
No, it's like the heavy roaring content is like in Brissinger.
Oh yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
I thought it was all in Eldest.
Brissinger's a lot of roaring.
Yeah, there's a lot of roar in there.
I only read.
I don't remember if it's in Eldest at all. Even I actually don't know.
There's some in Eldest.
Yeah, I don't remember, but like the POV distribution is really different.
Yeah.
As it goes on, it becomes much less like Eragon heavy as it goes.
This one's almost all Eragon, right?
Yeah, apart from the
prologue and maybe a couple chapters at the end.
Well, I don't think so. I think the prologue might be the only thing that's not Eragon in this one.
Begging and praying we get a Murtagh chapter, but I know it's not going to happen.
I guess it makes sense. Like, it's hard to write multiple points of view.
Yeah. I think for this book, having it be contained in Eragon's point of view is it just
completely
works
reasonable.
Yeah. And I think because the scope of the story doesn't really expand until all the stuff that happens at the end, it's reasonable to keep it within one. But yeah, I did like that he's thinking of Roran, and because the last couple of chapters he's really doggedly going after the Razak, and it's he's mind on the mission but not really considering what's driving that internally. The whole time he's in Terum, I don't think he thinks about Garrow or Roran at all. And I think that's just a nice reminder before they get to the place. Yeah, it was nice. Roran, I hope things are going okay for you. I know they are not, but
yeah.
I know your dad exploded.
He kind of turned into a mummy.
A little bit of a situation.
It was pretty bad for him.
Yeah. Eragon deciding to try and scry on something from his dream is so fucking stupid. And then it's a psycho weird one as well, because he can see the setting, which you can't see in a scry.
I guess he saw the setting in his dream, so he saw the cell in the dream, so he would be able to see it because he's technically, air quotes, been there. It doesn't make sense that he can see her anyway through the logic of scrying, and I don't know if we ever find out. They're just psychically linked or some shit. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I like that the rules of scrying are set out, and then, well, I like it a little bit that the rules are broken, but
I think they probably the link is through the egg Saphira.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I love that this breaks the rules of scrying to a point where you're what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, because it's important.
Yeah.
I like that. I don't like that Brom kind of doesn't care about it.
No.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Eragon knows Brom is a really powerful magic user, and we know that. And you would think that he would be oh, I've never heard of this before. As a scholar of magic, this is really interesting, but everything Eragon says to him, he kind of just brushes it off.
Well, he kind of goes, I've never heard of that before. That's pretty weird, and let's not talk about it.
Yeah.
It's like, excuse me?
This could be like, and then he goes on. Is it? No, it's next chapter where he's talking about the wizard battles. How like
him talking about the scrying is also in the next chapter.
Right. Where he's like, if somebody breaches your mind, it's over, and doesn't kind of put the connection together that having this like clearly psychic linked dream with a real woman might be some kind of mind breach on the young writer you're trying to protect.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's not a smart man. Okay. Chapter 31.
I got one last thing.
Oh, yeah?
Is it in here? Yeah. Because Eragon is just out of a coma and can't fight yet. Give him a day. Brom makes him do, like, tactic stuff, which is really good.
He's in misery.
He's making him do fucking maths problems.
Making him read The Art of War.
He's not smart enough for this.
Sun Tzu says if you're going to win a battle... Sorry, if you're going to lose a battle, don't.
Yeah.
I need to read that. It's got good tips for everyday life. Like
it really doesn't. I got like 2 copies of it upstairs.
Isn't it like teeny?
Yeah, I got like a little pocket size one as a present, and I got a normal size one.
Just in case you need to like know not to take too many horses that you can't feed on the trail.
Yeah, just in case your enemy has more warriors than you but they're hidden behind a hill, so you don't know. You should have just known that.
Just in case you need to figure out how to lure your enemy into a canyon and kill him from high above with arrows.
I think Eragon would do well about knowing about the fire arrows.
Yeah.
Maybe we should teleport into the world and give him a little...
Give him Art of War? He can't read that.
Oh, shit.
He can
learn how to read.
He can read.
They're like our letters. It might be in a different language, but he'll get it eventually. Translate this.
It'll be too late.
Learn a new language, translate this. Big ask for our boy.
It's good that he's learning tactics. It's just really hard for him.
He hates it.
Again, he's just been in a coma for 2 days. He's probably got a long-term concussion.
Yeah, he's got a huge brain hemorrhage at the moment.
Maybe that rider magic can heal him.
If he hates tactics so much, I think he should listen to a song from my friend Sexo.
Maybe he would like them a little bit better.
Maybe he would gravitas.
Tactics. Next chapter.
Is there a music video for that?
No.
It should be.
The first line of this chat is really funny. The next day was easier on both of them. Eragon's second day since his coma.
Second day out of his coma. Is this the day he completely beats Brom's ass really bad?
Yeah, this is Master of the Blade.
There's a few more days.
Oh, I think there's like a week or two.
There's
like
time
a week or two.
Yeah.
They do some travel.
That's the chapter that this happens in.
Yeah, the start of this is talking about the scrying and how
Brom just says
whatever.
Weird.
Sorry that happened to you.
Congratulations.
Well, congratulations.
I don't know.
I'm not listening to that.
I ain't hearing all that.
Sounds like a you problem, whatever.
It just keeps happening. It's so frustrating. I love their little swimming date, though.
It's so cute. That's something that's been in my head so clearly for so long, is them swimming in the big lake. And it's so cute, and they're having such a good time.
Yeah, it's so lovely.
The visual description's really nice as well, and it's like so cool at combining the elements of how there's the increased senses and just like experiencing all of that as well.
Yeah, I think this section does like a really... I don't know, I didn't realise coming back on the reread how many of these like little sections of them just hanging out and being friends there are. And yeah, like this builds really well on the stuff in Terram where they're just like hanging out on the cliff, and that like moment on the plains where they're like, I don't know, freaking the fuck out and desperately trying to get to each other in that windstorm, and just like it's all these like little kind of character moments that are just like building up like a really good friendship, and it makes sense that they like each other, and it makes sense that like they still want to continue hanging out with each other, like past just having like a mystic bond.
Yeah.
Which I feel like a lazier way to go about this would have been to just like state that they have the bond and then have none of these like interaction moments and just go, well, of course we're the best of friends and we love each other. We've got psychic link. It just would have been kind of, I don't know, less rich. I really like this bit. It's sweet. And I think it's like it's a good contrast as well to when they get to the city
Yeah.
Which
I
is a
also
shithole.
like before they do their swimming, when they're talking about the scrying, Eragon suggests, like, dead serious, well, maybe we should check every prison cell in the country and find her. And Brom is just like, haha, good joke. And Eragon's like, oh, I'm not going to say anything now, but I was being
I think
I thought we could do that. I'm not sure why he's laughing, but I'm not gonna.
Aragon makes up a woman in his head and is like, this is the most beautiful woman alive.
Bro, I gotta go find
I
her.
gotta check every jail cell in the country.
He makes up a woman in his head and then finds out she's real and goes, holy shit, we gotta check every jail in the country.
If that happened, then, you know, what else?
There might be other civilizations on the planet. She could be anywhere in the world.
Yeah, she could actually be anywhere.
Yeah,
But
she could
Eragon
even
doesn't
be
know
in
that.
Serta.
Lucky for him.
Didn't
Come
think
on,
of that.
that's way too far-fetched. No one's in Serta.
His brain link doesn't reach that far.
Yeah, how far is it, like, anywhere in the world?
Scrying?
Yeah, I guess so.
Like,
Anywhere
maybe
in the
the
frame.
further it is, the more
It's
energy it
anywhere on
is.
The prime material.
That sounds like a thing,
That
but
probably makes sense.
That
Yeah.
would make sense, but I don't know if it's like.
it's not
Right.
explicit.
A really good wizard. Oh god. A really good wizard could use that to triangulate. Like, how tired did I just get? Okay, you're this far away from me. Grinder, but scrying. Scrynder.
It's grinder. Copyright that. Write that down.
Write that down.
Yeah, so the only real other thing that happens in Master, well, the next thing really that happens in Master of the Blade is Eragon masters the blade.
Hell yeah.
Of course.
Oh, he masters the blade with his left hand 2 weeks after he broke his wrist. That's how quick it took.
He's just so good at fighting. He needed to level up before they get to, like, the next area.
Yeah, sorry, he's master of the blade for a human. If he ever, Brom warns him that he ever fights an elf, even like
The shittest elf.
even like the shittest little tiny girl elf, they'll beat his ass.
Yeah.
But for a human, he's master of the
It
blade.
seems like Brom's laughing. It's like, I'm reading that as Brom's fucking fuming.
He's so cracked.
He's so mad.
Molding over this. He's
He
like,
got beat once, and he's like,
okay, it's over.
well, don't fucking forget that an elf could destroy you.
Like, I'm just picturing him, like, smoking his pipe and fuming next to the campfire all night.
Absolutely.
We don't have to do daily training anymore.
We
It's
don't.
fine.
It's fine.
It's
If
fine.
if everyone beats him one more time, he'll kill himself. This has been like his ego boost.
It's beating the hell out of this guy. This kid.
He's the hell out of the
16.
teenager I've been hanging out with for 3 months. Yeah, I do love that he's like, I'm the greatest swordsman alive, apart from 3 guys, and you just beat me, but don't forget,
Those
Every
3
elf.
guys and every elf could get you.
if you make an elf mad, just run. Just run. They will beat your ass 6 ways to Sunday, my friend. That's so fun. I did think it was a little bit slay and feminist of him to say that even the shittest girl elf in the world could kill you, no matter what.
I like that he explicitly says that even the shittest girl elf could beat you in a sword fight.
And then he panics and is like, and then dragons, and then other magic creatures, and then the Razak too.
Yeah, anybody could. You're
Anyone
not
can beat
special.
you. Whatever. So mad.
You're just good for a human as well.
And we're nothing. Like, what about the dwarves?
Can the dwarves beat you in a sword
I don't know
fight?
if I could beat them in
know.
a sword fight, but in
Did
a
a
hammer
dwarf
fight?
sword fight? I don't even know.
No, they got, like, axes and shit. They got dwarf-type weapons.
Yeah.
What,
Yeah, they expect into dwarf
a
type.
dwarf with a long sword? No
Like-
way. It's taller than him.
That'd be unwieldy.
I think something about dwarvish pride would prevent them from using a longsword.
It's too fancy. It's not robust enough.
They would say it's like unbalanced, even though like it's perfectly balanced, but the weight's not like top heavy like a hammer.
Well,
You can't go kadunk.
well, with a dwarf, a hammer is the perfectly balanced weapon because they're the counterbalance.
Yeah,
So a sword really just isn't useful for their body type.
exactly.
They are like literally made of rocks or something. I think in this they are actually
Sack
made
of
of
rocks.
stone.
Yeah, I think they might. This one might have dwarvish lore where they're carved from rocks.
This one
I
has
don't
crazy
remember.
dwarvish lore. It's really fun.
Yeah.
I can't wait to get to them. I know they ride around on goats and
Yeah.
shit.
Our friend Chris kind of found a way to make wizard duels lame.
I know.
I think it's pretty funny.
They're over in a second.
It's like a little funny, but it's like, for real.
You go
they
out there and
stand there
play
staring
chess.
at each other for 5 minutes, and then someone keels over.
Yeah.
I think the imagery's pretty good. From
It's
the
funny.
external.
But it's just like, oh, so we're never having a wizard duel?
Yeah.
There's casting and we're not going to see a wizard duel because Eragon just died?
Yeah, he made magic too good. It's like way too powerful.
How could you ever have a wizard duel? You just like, give the other guy a brain hemorrhage right away. But before they died, they could brain your hemorrhage.
She brain on my hemorrhage.
Yeah. My dying breath, I brain on your hemorrhage.
My dying breath, I make you really cold and you have to think about making yourself really hot.
Wizard duel, she slunk my shit stupid style. Yeah, no, they are kind of lame. I'm sorry. I like it when they're launching fireballs at each other.
Yeah. I don't care about this stupid mental sparring or whatever.
There's a reason that psychic class in D&D never got off the ground, and it's because you're just standing there.
Because people like to do things and see people do things.
We had Moa play Psycho in our game, and it's like, when we were in combat, he could only describe his guy as just like glancing over somewhere. It was cool the first time where he's like trying to be offhanded, and the second time it's like, oh, I want to do something cool, but all I do is look at that guy.
Looks at you with my evil eyes. People with blue eyes. Yeah, no, it's just
Looking at you.
stop. It's just boring. Well, it's not boring. I think
It's funny, but it's like, I'm sorry.
It's hard to write
I
an
want to.
action scene
I would
around
like
that.
a wizard duel to be cool,
Yeah.
not funny because someone just dies after looking at them.
like I think there are wizard duels later in the series, and they're kind of intense.
Well, yeah, because
Because
it's
you're
a
in there.
battle of
Eragon.
minds.
Yeah.
So,
Which is
Getting the-
cool or whatever, but it's not.
lightning bolt.
It's not fucking Mob Psycho fight scene.
Yeah.
Oh, can you actually, Mob? Don't go in there. You don't deserve
What did
it.
Mob with a dragon friend?
The contrast of like the pretty well written sword fight scene here into Brom losing into saying magic duel way cooler.
Yeah, you would totally lose a magic
You would
fight
lose
with
a magic
anyone.
duel. Well, he would. He's stupid.
Yeah.
It's not his fault.
All he can do is imagine a brick wall, and he's not very good at it.
He can imagine throwing an orc at a tree
Yeah, considering
Pass out.
and pass out.
considering that mental fortitude is the number one requirement for not getting like mind controlled by the God King, Brom is not doing a very good job training that with him.
No, Brom is working really hard to grind him into the dirt, which kind of seems like the opposite of what you want to happen.
You kind of want a healthy, sprightly young man.
You should be giving him therapy for like all his familial trauma.
His mental health is going to be in the gutter, and Gabbletorix is just going to get in there. I mean, look what happened. It's tough for him out here.
There's a wizard duel and Galatorix just says, unfortunately, your mother, and
he
Eragon keels over.
dies.
It's like, I didn't even cast anything.
He's just really sad. Fighting with Morzan, and he's like, yeah, mum, low.
It's all
Got him.
Oh
over.
my god.
Yeah, I do love...
Lozan has already died.
No.
He comes back just for that.
He's back to life just for that. He's like, I want my sword back.
I love Eragon's so curious about the world. It's so nice. I know that he's just like an exposition guy, but like there would be so much chance for him as a point of view character to be like really passive and just be like having things told to him. It's so refreshing that he asks questions in this chapter and Brom doesn't immediately shut him down.
Yeah.
Because that happens kind of frequently, and when you are the POV character and we're getting all the
It's
info
like,
from
I want
you.
to know things.
Yeah, and
Stop
he's
saying
like,
no.
hey, what's this? And Brom goes, shut the fuck up. It's like, but Brom, I'm here too. It's like he's yelling at me. But yeah, he's a proactive, curious protagonist, and it's nice, and I like that when things happen to him, there are consequences for his actions. Really low bar, I know. But
I do like it though. I like when things happen and have a result.
I love how often he completely fucks up. and it fucks things up for everybody.
It's great.
It's great.
Yeah.
Like, so many bad things happen, and it's his fault.
Sorry, I'm just remembering from the first chapter from this lot. When Brom has his whole spiel about how terrible all of these things are, and Eragon sits through it for ages and ages and ages, and then he says, "But it's not as bad as you thought. They already knew about me." Eragon, that's so much worse. Oh, so as bad as you thought. It's 10 times worse.
It's worse.
Also, they've got a leader. I don't know who it is.
Yeah.
Brom instantly assumes that their leader is a man. Just saying. Interesting.
Well, Brom's the worst man in the world.
Well, yeah, I don't think he believes in women.
Well, we saw the other chapter. He definitely doesn't.
I don't think that they exist.
I think he believes in them, but only while they do things for him. I'll never tell you what that all meant. Okay, the Mire of Dress Leona. Finally, after at least 3 weeks after Eragon asked what's Hellgrind, he gets to find out.
It's a cool mountain.
Oh my god, I love Hellgrind.
I think Eragon's a better person than I am, because if I had to wait that long and I got there and Brom's like, that's Hellgrind, it's that big rock,
evil mountain.
I would have gone psycho. If I had to wait 3 weeks and you wouldn't tell me,
psycho.
It's not even a mountain, it's a big rock.
It's a really big one. It's just a spire.
It's got 3 spires, and they
got
argue if the
one
fourth one's
small
real.
one. They argue
The fourth
if
one's worth
it's worth
Guys, let's join the blood cult and cut our hands off about it.
Yeah, they are killing people for that.
Oh my god, I love
this cult.
city. It's just like, this is the
It's so
only major
yucky.
religion that's ever been mentioned in this book.
This is the worst designed city with an even worse religion.
It's beautiful. I love Dress Leona. It's such a scum pit for no
Yeah. Something I think is quite funny about this is it's very explicitly described as not being a planned city like Tem. It's big, it's sprawling, there's no wall, but there is a guard checkpoint.
Well, there's a
Where?
there is a wall. It's like a shit mud wall, and I think it's just like,
Yeah, but the city's also outside the wall.
yeah, it's like
It's
had
not
a wall,
contained
and
in
then
the
they kept
wall.
building it. So yeah, I guess they
No,
just
there's,
like,
there's the inner part that's like fancier,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, but like that's not the whole
where the
city, and that's not where the
Oh, the
checkpoint
checkpoint's on
is.
the outside?
Yeah,
Oh,
the
man.
checkpoint is as you come into the city. But like it's city sprawl. Does the checkpoint have to move every couple of weeks? Like,
maybe they've got just like a main road.
They got like a few different checkpoints.
10 guards on either side of the road.
it's
That's
so
a
many
lot.
people.
20 guys watching you walk down the street.
Who the hell's like moving in and out of Dress Leona? This place
It's
sucks.
like a big trading.
Is it?
Yeah.
I guess it's situated for you.
Yeah, it was
you can
one
go
of
up
the
the river on the
places they listed when they were like, what are the trading hubs that like when they were trying to track the Scyther oil.
Alright, that makes sense.
Yeah, I love it. I love the blood cult. I think they're so creepy and weird. I love that, like, it's just, in any other, I don't know, world, that the cult of people who worship the obviously evil mountain and, like, do human sacrifices and drink blood and cut their arms off for scary mountain god would be like an underground, like, the bad guys here in my video game, these are the cultists you kill. But in this world, they just run this city.
They're just
Yeah.
kind
And
of
everyone's
there.
just like, okay.
Everyone's like, I'll just avoid those guys. I need to go trade there, but I just can't piss off the cult.
But the
Yeah.
cathedral is the biggest building in the city, and you can see
In
it
the
from
center,
everywhere.
and it's shaped like the rock. I also want to say, you said there's obviously evil rock. It's just a rock.
I think Brom describes it.
He describes it as being unhealthy and malevolent, but it's just a big spiky rock. Inherently, there's nothing wrong with a big rock. Brom's buying into the cult stuff and being like, this is fucked up and horrible. But, like, that's just a fucking rock. It's the cult worship that's bad.
Actually, yeah, it's not like a volcano or anything. Obviously, it's
Yeah.
like Eye of Sauron.
Obviously, there's some evil guys up at the top, but they don't know about those.
Yeah.
To be fair, this is Magic World. The spire could simply have very bad vibes.
So it could have bad vibes, but he should have said that instead of saying this rock is unhealthy.
Yeah, that was
It's a rock.
weird thing to
The
say.
rock's kind of sick.
Rock. This rock's kind of sick, dude.
Sick.
Yeah, that's what everyone else thinks, Brom.
Like a
They're like, well, sick rock, I'm gonna build a religion.
religion out of that. Yeah, I don't know why he describes it as unhealthy. It is literally just some stones. It can't be sick. It is rocks. But
it can't be malevolent. It's a rock.
It could be a bit scary looking, I guess.
Yeah, but it can't be malevolent. Malevolent is an intent.
It's true.
It's a rock.
What if it has a mind? A very scary, evil mind?
Well, it could.
This rock's got an agenda.
But, I feel like...
And it's a dangerous yum, 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 give me your blood, please.
Yeah. It's yum, 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 toes.
Toes and fingers, I am so excited for when we get there. It's just like...
It's pretty fucked
It's so
up.
creepy and weird and evil. It's so good. This city is...
Kind of creepy and weird.
creepy and weird with it.
I'm glad to be exploring a new area.
Yes. And the atmosphere here is fantastic.
It's great.
It's like, this chapter's really, really short, but you get... The descriptions of the city are just like... concise and like really precise and just make you feel very gross and sad and everything's yucky and everybody here is evil and weird.
Yeah.
It's so good. And the buildings are all like they're built over the street, so
the buildings are Tudor city style, where you're allowed to expand wider on the top layers as long as you're not taking up more ground and you don't get taxed for more land usage. So all the streets are just tunnels.
So good.
So cool.
I love how much he's like the quality of living. It's just horrible.
Yeah.
All the people.
It's like, this is horrible. A beast shouldn't live like this. This sucks. I'm not even... And then he's also like, thinks everything's really gross, even though he's like a farm boy. He's just like, I won't even touch that mattress. I'm going to sleep on the floor. I'll be an empty sack of skin the second I sit down.
Yeah, he's like, the bugs on that bed are gonna eat me alive, and Brom goes, don't mind if I
I'll
do.
take the bed.
Why does Brom get him blasted at this inn?
Brom gets even more blasted than him.
Brom drinks twice
I
as
don't
much.
know why.
Yeah, don't you have like a really important mission to do tomorrow, guys?
Yeah, don't you have to be like really
Aren't you
well
like
rested
just not extremely not in a safe place?
Yeah.
This isn't your buddy's house.
And like, Brom's like 80 years old. Maybe, do you think being a dragon rider like means you can't get hungover? Because
I guess we might find out next.
We'll find out the next page.
Because Eragon has told us that by all rights, Brom should be far more hungover than him. So perhaps we'll find out that there's something
Oh, Saphira's really sad that she has to be left alone again.
Yeah, she hates leave alone.
Maybe they should have built a city for her.
Well.
Wait a second. No, there is nothing. She's too big. I'm so sorry, my beautiful queen. It's just so sad. I can't say more good things about. I can say more good things about it. I can't say enough good things about it. I love this place. It's fucked in the head. It's disgusting. Everything's so gritty and grimy, and everyone's so yucky. It's an excellent place for the Rosaglia to be.
Yeah.
He was like, how can I make this the place where these gross, nasty dudes live as gross and nasty as possible? And he did it. By God. It's great. I love it. That is all I have for my notes. I'm just excited for the next couple of chapters.
Do Brom or Eragon give us any hints about what they're planning to do now they're here?
They have no idea.
No, I thought not.
They walked in with no plan.
Yeah.
They said, the Razak are here. Great. Let's go.
Let's get them.
Let's go.
Let's get them, boys. Which, like, you don't even know where they live.
I like that after the chapter with the swinging and the swimming and the spring and like the training. Training's finally over. It's like it's finally time for Eragon to go and do his actual mission that he set out for.
Yeah, it's good build up, and like it definitely is like turning point coming from like the imagery of like that beautiful clear lake and all the meadows and stuff to this like horrible nasty.
Yeah, the like crystal clear lake that you can see like.
Yeah.
It's like huge. They fly up and they can still not see one of the shores. It's like Lake Michigan
it's huge,
size.
it's huge, and it's incredibly clear as well, because you can see really far
Yeah.
inside
it's so nice. It's lovely. It's just like, it's good tone set up and good like pacing, I think.
It's also like almost halfway through the book. Just about.
But yeah, that's a nice contrast between like imagery and chapters.
Yeah, they definitely have like. I mean, this was a short reading this week, definitely, but like the feel is very different.
Yeah.
Like, between chapters, and I think that's something he did really well. I think are we done for today, boys?
I think that's the content that we'll go.
That was short.
Thank you guys for sticking with us. We haven't recorded in like.
We've been on a
6 or 7 weeks.
A holiday break.
Yeah, it's been holidays.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Sorry if you can hear clattering and galumphing and thundering down the stairs. There's nothing we can really do about that.
Anyway, it's good to be
live in a
back.
house with many other people. It's good. Okay, who's on summary and what are we reading next week?
Sean, I think you would be up next.
Oh gosh. Goodness. So up next.
Yeah, gasping.
Yeah, so up next we've got Trail of Oil, Worshippers of Helgrind, and the Rizak's Revenge. And then there's some very exciting events in the next one as well.
Oh, boys and girls, stay in tune for
Listeners,
episode 12. Fuck yes.
Listeners, episode 12 will be in high spirits.
We should buy party
Oh
poppers.
yeah.
That will sound dreadful.
Explosions.
This has been E is for Dragon.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
We'll catch you next week.
Dreadful.
Explosions.
This has been E is for Dragon.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
We'll catch you next week.